Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Today's stories include toxic parents, favoritism between siblings, manipulation, gaslighting, codependency, and entitled people. Be aware. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter I won't budge even if she never speaks to me again? My daughter, Casey, 17 female, worked and saved up money for around a year to be able to afford a better car than we could buy her with our family budget. My other daughter, Alana, 16 female, has ADHD, recently got her driver's license, and asked to drive Casey's car. Casey allowed it, but Alana ended up having a bad accident around 6 months ago, which basically rendered the car unusable. The insurance payout wasn't nearly enough to cover the replacement, and with Alana's medical bills from the accident, thankfully there was no permanent damage, just a broken arm and leg. There was no way we could afford to replace Casey's car immediately. Alana was very apologetic to Casey, and so were we, since we couldn't afford to replace her car. Casey didn't accept our apology, and has been basically avoiding us, skipping family dinners, and pretty much pretending that her mom, Alana, and I don't exist, and only talks to us if she needs a form signed for her school. I begged her to come to a family therapy session, and she eventually relented, but with the condition that Alana wouldn't be present. In the therapy session, she told us that she won't be resuming a relationship with us until we replace her car, which realistically won't be until next year. When the therapist asked how she expected us to do that, Casey said we could just make Alana work to earn the money. The issue is that Alana has severe ADHD and already has trouble managing her schoolwork. I'm worried that making her work to earn the money will harm her grades and have significant ramifications for her future. Casey said, "Well, she should have thought about that before destroying my car." I don't care, I'm not gonna speak to any of you unless I have my car replaced. I responded that she was free to avoid speaking to me for as long as she wanted to, but I'm not going to permanently harm her sister's future to get her a car earlier. My wife agrees with me that we need to stand firm on our position, but is also genuinely afraid of Casey never speaking to her ever again. I understand that her car was ruined, but as a parent I need to look out for all my children, not just one. I also don't want to set the precedent that emotional blackmail will work, even if what you're asking for is unreasonable. Am I the idiot? OP also tell us. Anyone wondering how much convincing it took for Casey to, quote, let Alana drive her car? No convincing at all. We weren't even involved in the convo between them. Sure. What do you mean you are asking if you're the idiot? Of course you are. Do you really believe that you and your wife are right in not wanting to pay for a damage that your minor daughter was responsible for? Even if the car belonged to her sister, there must be some type of responsibility and financial compensation either on yours or on Alana's part. Look, I understand that $15,000 is a lot of money, and not everyone have that amount just laying around, especially to give to your 17-year-old kid, but you are not even trying here. And I'm not necessarily talking about money. You're not taking responsibility for yours and Alana's fault in this situation. You're acting as if Casey is wrong for feeling upset, hurt and asking for compensation for her car that her sister destroyed, and your reaction to all this makes everything 1,000 times worse. What if Alana had crashed and destroyed someone else's car or property? Would you also tell that person to just sort it out, or that Alana doesn't bear all the responsibility because she has ADHD? Sorry, that's not how the world works. I understand that you want the best for your daughter, but remember that you have too. You are the idiot OP. Oh, and by the way, your favoritism is showing a lot. And what did you guys think of this situation? Would you have the same behavior as OP? Now let's read the comments and see what they think. You can't be serious? You are the idiot. You, your wife, and Alana. You keep using the excuse that Alana has severe ADHD, then why allow her to drive if she is incapable of being responsible? I guarantee this has been Alana's life, and it's heartbreaking. How many toys, treasured items have you let Alana break, take, or use, just to guilt Casey with? Oh, you know your sister has severe ADHD, just let her. My middle son has autism, mind you he's higher functioning, but we planned on spending longer to teach him to drive. We spent so much more for extra lessons. I know my son, he will freeze for second, that second counts, so we are taking longer before he gets his driver's license, and I never let his autism be an excuse to be a jerk to his brothers. When he was little, he could have an outburst all he wants, I wasn't giving him his brother's stuff, he had to be respectful of their things. Good lord, you failed both of them. It wasn't just the car, the car situation is just the straw that broke the camel's back. She has felt so belittled, she rather pretend she doesn't have a family, because why? When you prove over and over that she doesn't matter. You are the idiot, you're shitting all over Casey to protect Alana from the consequences of her actions. If her condition is that bad, why was she allowed to drive in the first place? I'm with Casey on this one, you're coddling your youngest. And you have no idea if having a job could actually help your youngest learn to manage her time. You've left your oldest hanging. If Alana can get her driver's license, she can get a job. Alana aside, what lesson will Casey take away from this at 17? Hopefully not that her good habits and hard work leads nowhere. I'm ADHD, I crashed my friend's car while driving without a license when I was 16, I almost hit a cop. Guess who had to do many hours of community service and get a job to pay her fines and friend's car repairs, because her parents sure as F weren't footing that bill. It's me, those were my consequences. And what did you guys thought about the comments? Apparently they don't agree with OP either. And what would you do in a situation like this? What would you advise OP to do? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for still being upset with my sister? My sister, 24, and I, 29, female, have always been best friends when we were younger. We did everything together, we had the same hobbies and friend groups. We were the strongest and most united siblings I've known and were always supporting each other. However, when she went to university, her personality suddenly changed, she wasn't interested in any of the things which previously brought us joy. She didn't have new hobbies or new friends, she just abandoned the old ones. This situation upset me a lot, but I tried to still keep her close, explore whatever new things we could find, but she declined most suggestions I had for activities, movies, etc. She actively avoided living in the same city, or working in the same company as me. I asked if I had done something wrong to upset her, she said I haven't, but she just wants to explore her own life in ways that don't include me. This may not sound very dramatic to you, but I'm autistic, thus prone to feel very emotional, so the day her personality changed, it felt like my entire world collapsed. I couldn't make other friends and I couldn't make sense of this situation, I had lost my soulmate and she didn't want me in her life anymore. I feel like my life is over and honestly, ever since this happened, I'm dead inside. Wow. I've since spoken with my sister and tried to be as calm and constructive as possible. She told me she would like us to exchange an email once every 1-2 months and see each other 2-3 times a year in person. However, I feel like this is just bringing me pain, this isn't enough to rebuild a bond. I'm better off just carrying on with my life and trying to forget about her. I know a lot of siblings aren't any closer than this, but we used to be best friends and that changed seemingly overnight. This is an old issue, it's been 4 years since her personality changed. I'm not a strong, resilient person and I'm still very upset. I've spoken about this with my partner, 34 male. Today, I told him I'm not resentful, but I'm really hurt that my closest person chose to build a new life without me. He told me she's not done anything wrong and that it's completely acceptable for people to change and not to want to spend a lot of time with each other. However, I'm feeling really hurt that she just cut me off like this for 4 entire years. I was making all the effort to bring us together and she would just back off. My partner says my expectations of my sister are unreasonably high. I said I didn't have the expectation of me and her being as close as we used to be as children, but I thought it would have been nice for us to live in the same city, see each other on weekends, play computer games, watch series together and go out with mutual friends. I know I'm the autistic one, so I often question my sanity. So now I need to ask, is my boyfriend right? Am I the idiot for not meeting with her on her terms, if she won't meet me on mine? Am I delusional in thinking she is being a bad friend for cutting me off? OP also give us more info. I'm autistic. I played with stuffed animals when I was 13 and sword fought when I was 17. That explains why we had the same friend group. My family would always tell me to be a good example for my younger sister, because she admires me, copies me, and follows my lead. So I thought she was a willing participant in our dynamic, not dragged along, but now she doesn't feel the same anymore, I suppose. When she went to university, I couldn't be with her right away. I was in another town. We were both discussing how I should move, so we can be together, so the entire first year she was there, she was telling me how she feels alone and how it's so strange her family is not here. I don't know, didn't sound like a person who wanted to be independent. We were looking forward to being reunited, but when I made it there, it was done. She was changed, she was happy to meet up, but she never had anything to say or anything she wanted to do. I have indeed discussed my childhood with my sister. I don't think she grew in my shadow. High-functioning autism wasn't a thing nobody knew about 20, 30 years ago. My parents noticed I was, quote, slow and stupid, while my grandma would coddle me. My dad would try to get the baby to bully the idiot older sibling while my grandmother went overboard defending me. It caused tension with my sister when we were young kids, but as we grew, we decided we should just stick to each other and defend each other instead of letting the adults mess with us. Your dad is a jerk, but go grandma. I don't know how happy my sister was with our relationship in our teens. To me it seems like everything was fantastic, everything I introduced her to, be it music, friends, movies, she took up to instantly and would want to rewatch it. She had her own interests and was fascinated by Romans. Ironically, she read the entire Troy book. So I'd join in on that stuff. I know that many people have a much more distant relationship with their siblings. So yes, maybe a sibling doesn't need to live in the same city and stuff. But what about a best friend? Is it so shocking that I'm in pieces when my best friend just cut me out, set boundaries, very different to mine, and there's no compromise to be had? Don't people live in the same city as their best friend? Don't some best friends work together? Yes, it's reasonable to choose a job and a city to live based on your preferences, but she's choosing those to actively avoid me. Are you sure? Did she tell you that? Or do you think this way because she doesn't give in to your demands of how you guys' relationship should be? To be fair, I just don't understand what stopped us from building our new lives together. There was nothing tying her to one city or another. I was offering her a job in a great company for $23,000 in a medium-sized city, but she said that town wasn't big enough. So she went to work in Amazon for $19,000 on a short contract in a tiny village. She was taking the worst deal, so she wouldn't be around me. I know that in adulthood things get in the way, people have work and children, but in our case, we had all the opportunities to stay near each other, and she just chose not to. I think people don't get that I am indeed grieving, but it's not like I can even show it, because why should I? She's alive and well. I'm not texting her or reaching out anymore. If it were up to me, I would have cut her off completely, because I'm in a lot of pain. But if I cut her off, our parents will be upset and they'll tell me to stop being dramatic. So yes, I'll have to keep seeing her at agonizing family events. Woohoo! Wow. I'm finding this situation a bit strange. I don't know if something else happened in this story that we don't know, or if even OP knows, but I don't know, something sounds off here. Look, I don't think OP is wrong in wanting to have a close relationship with her sister, that's normal. She's a person that OP feels comfortable with and trusts, and she misses her sister, and from what OP told us, they were close before. But maybe this wasn't the same experience that her sister had growing up. I also know that it's normal that when people grow up, to grow apart and have new lives, and apparently that's what OP's sister wants. I don't think OP is the idiot for wanting to have back her old relationship with her sister, or at least have a closer relationship than her current one, but it's clear that's not her sister's intention. And this hurts. I won't deny OP's pain, but she has to respect her sister's decision. I think OP could try talking to her sister again, to understand what happened to cause this distancing to occur, but there may very well not be a specific reason, or worse, there is the risk of her hearing something she doesn't want. Also, in the terms of OP ignoring her sister completely because she doesn't want to have the type of relationship OP wants, that's her choice. On one hand, I found this petty, but I also understand if this is the way she found to protect her feelings. So, OP, you're not the idiot for feeling hurt, but you kind of are for not wanting to respect your sister's boundaries. And what do you guys think of this situation? What advice would you give OP? Have you ever experienced anything similar to what is going on with OP? Don't forget to leave your comments below. Soft, you are the idiot. I think your expectations for your adult sibling are too high. I'm also wondering if your perception of the closeness you shared as kids is actually how she felt. It's really unusual for siblings with a 5-year age gap to share the same friend group, not just unusual, but also not even developmentally appropriate. Is there someone else in your family that knew you both as kids that might give you some insight or a different perspective? No idiots here, it seems. You are not an idiot for being hurt, but she is not either for making a choice who to spend time with. The way you describe it, there was nothing to specifically spite you. If you want more contact, it seems the way to go is to accept less contact. Whatever her reason, she will most likely not disclose it if pushed. I'm going with no idiots here. I understand your grief, but your expectations are really high. It's hard when someone is on a different path than what you expected, but if she wants to live her life without you 100% in it, she has that right. Also, why does it have to be all or nothing? Correct me if wrong, but that's what I got from your post/comments. You want to choose where she lives, what she does, where she works? When does she get to go live her own life, the way she wants to? She has to stay near you? Did she ask you to find her a job? You are the idiot. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? What do you think of OP's reaction? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.